UFC Fight Night Moicano versus Duncan takes place this weekend. And I'm going to be real, the card's not that great. There's a lot of giant favorites, a lot of guys that shouldn't even be in the UFC fighting on this card. And the main event's not that good. But nonetheless, I'm going to go through the entire card, give my predictions and breakdowns for every single fight on the card. So let's just get it started. The first fight, Dakota Hope versus Kai Kameka III. The Fighting Hawaiian returns to the UFC, highly anticipated. We've all been waiting for this guy. We've been seeing him on the regional scene, just marauding guys, just fucking leaving them out cold. But seriously, Kai Kameka, he was in the UFC for a little bit. He went 0-3. He might have won one fight, but he lost a bunch of guys that weren't UFC caliber, like TJ Brown, a bunch of guys like that. He got finished by JP. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember his nickname. Jonathan Pierce. Was it JP3? I don't think it was JP3. It was something with a JP, his nickname. I can't remember. But anyway, Jonathan Pierce TKO'd him. And since then, he's fought some guys outside the UFCs. Won a couple, lost a couple. He's 1-1 in his last two. Hasn't beaten anyone that good. Has lost to some guys who used to be in the UFC on the regional scene. So he's kind of been, he's been around on the regional scene. Dakota Hope, on the other hand, he is kind of the prospect here. Hasn't really fought anyone good. He's lost to a guy who wasn't that good. But I think I'm going to trust in him. Oh, wow. He has really short arms. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, I'm still going to take Dakota Hope, the Hurricane, as a slight underdog here. He's younger. I don't know if he's going to be more hungry. I think Kameka might be able to mix it up on him, actually. But this is one of those fights where it's pretty much 50-50 for me. Yeah, I'll go with Dakota Hope. Fuck it. All right, moving up the card. Diane Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. Barbosa's actually pretty decent, if memory serves right. She's 2-2 in the UFC. Went to decision with Caroline Silva. That's right. Lost to Miranda Rabic. She's the only loss to really good, capable fighters. So I'm gonna take Barbosa to beat Melissa Gatto by decision. 2 decisions in a row. Up the card, we finally get a decent little fight here. One of my favorite prospects. He was anyway. Still is. I still love Azamat Bekayev versus Tresean Gore here. Bekayev should just destroy Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore is going to be 5-5 after this fight. He has no business being in the UFC. He is terrible. He got KO'd by Cody Brundage. Bekayev's decent. Getting schooled by Yusuri Belgaruli isn't that bad. And he's just hitting. He just turned 30. He's gonna I think he's gonna make a big statement. He's gonna be able to mix it up. He's better than them everywhere. He has more power. I think he's gonna get it done by KO. A big KO for Bekayev. Get him back on track. Up the card, all hail Haley Cohen versus the Golden Girl, Alice Pereira. Alice Pereira. Now, I know these girls have been too impressive in the UFC, but Alice Pereira is 14 years younger, and she looked pretty technically good in her debut in a loss. So I think I'm going to be comfortable taking Alice Pereira. Crafty, tip at range, classic WMMA decision. And I think she'll get it done 30-27. I think she'll get it done really easily. A lot of these fights are kind of like this. Up the card, Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers. Neither of these guys should really be in the UFC. Lando Venata is an Unc of the game, though. He's been in the UFC for a while. And he's all right, He's all right. He's not bad. Darius Flowers is bad. He's really bad. So I'm going to take Lando Venata by KO. He has some pretty crafty striking. It can be pretty tricky for guys. And Darius Flowers, I'm pretty sure he got in the UFC by slamming someone and they hurt their shoulder on Contender Series. Shouldn't even have been in the UFC to begin with. He's not UFC caliber. Lando Venata, even though he's Unc, he is UFC caliber, you know. He's had some crafty dubs. He fought Tony Ferguson. You know, he's fought in some really good opponents, and this should just be one of the ones where he just goes out there and fucking just has a big schooling decision, or which I think is going to happen, is a big KO, because I just don't think that Darius Flowers is good at all, actually. So I think Venat is going to go in there and kind of show him levels. Really low levels, but he'll show him levels. Up the card, Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Wow. Remember when Stuart Nickel got signed and everyone was hyping him up as the next Australian prospect? He's lost 2 since then, and he hasn't really looked very good in either of his fights. Alessandro Costa is tricky. He's a tough out. He's really stocky. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He has a lot of power. He has crafty submissions. I think this is a puzzle that Stuart Nickel won't be able to solve. And I'm going to take Alessandro Costa by submission. He's just better than him. He's bigger than him. He'll have a fucking size advantage on him. He'll just be able to fucking grab him, get a hold of him. If it gets too tricky on the feet, you know. Which I don't think it will. I think Alessandro Costa has an advantage on the feet. He's a little bit younger. Not by much, just by a year, but still. Stuart Nickel hasn't really looked UFC. He just hasn't shown the enlightenment of a good prospect, and I don't think it starts here, because Alessandro Costa is pretty good. What the fuck just happened? My fucking Tapology page just fucking crashed. Jesus Christ, what's the next fight? All right, Thomas and Peterson versus Gurimi Pat. Gurharem? I don't know how to say his name, but Pat. Kong Pat, that's what we're going to call him. Versus Thomas the Tank Engine. Pat Peterson. I love Thomas Peterson, but he's not going to win here. Like, Peterson's not good, man. Like, it's just a lot of these guys. Like, this is just like, it's a hard card to fucking talk about, because it's just like, oh, well, that guy sucks. The other guy should win. And I think that's the pace here. I'm going to go with Kong Pat. Gurharem Pat. Kong Pat. I'm pretty sure this guy, this is his debut, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he fought in the Contender Series, though. No, he's fought in the UFC before. Oh. He didn't fight in the Contender Series. He fought Alan Fry Jr. Right. Oh, my God. No, Thomas and Peterson's going to win this fight. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Thomas and Peterson, man. Crafty. Really crafty. Mixing it up. Thomas the Tank Engine gets it done. Wow, never thought I would say that. I never thought I would pick Thomas and Peterson to win a fight, but these Apex cards, man, they'll make you do something crazy. So, yeah, I got Thomas and Peterson I'll go with decision. I don't think he'll have enough to finish him, but he'll be able to wear him out for a decision. Up the card, Robert Rachala versus Jose Delano. Jose Delano is a very good prospect. He looked very good in the Contender Series. I'm pretty sure he landed the most shots in a lightweight bout or a featherweight bout in Contender Series history on the Contender Series. He looked very good. He was like good combinations. This is a tough debut for him. Robert Rachala is pretty solid himself. He had a close decision with William Gomez in his debut, and that's a tough debut, you know. But I'm going to go with Jose Delano by TKO. I think he'll be able to put the pace on him. I think he'll be able to negate the takedowns, and Rachala will look like a victim in this fight. It'll be one of those ones. The guys just beat the shit out of him for like a round and a half. Ref calls it up. It'll be a little bit early. People will be like, oh, that was an early stoppage. But it's just like, oh, he's just beating the shit out of him the whole fight. You know, one of those ones. But Jose Delano is very good. So I'm actually excited for this fight. Up the card, Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zucchini. Zucchini sucks. That's pretty much it. It's one of them ones. Tommy McMillan should not be a -1,000 favorite. If you're betting on this card, bet on Manolo Tommy McMillan isn't all that. You know, he had a really good fight at Contender Series, but he gets tagged a lot. He got dropped. He got almost subbed. He almost got finished like 4 times in that fight. He ended up pulling it back, though, and I like that. Shows grit. That'll take you a long way in the UFC, some grit. So I'm going to go with Tommy Gunn McMillan by decision. He's just better than him, man. Like, it's just like this guy just shouldn't be in the UFC, you know? A lot of these fights, man. We've had one, like, solid fight in this card so far where it's like, oh, I could see Delano, you know, maybe losing, but no. This is a terrible card, man. Wow. Up the card. This is the second best fight on the card, though. Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Estevam. Estevam, is this his first fight at bantamweight? Because I know he used to fight at flyweight, but he couldn't make weight. I'm pretty sure he has had one since then. No. Okay, this is bantamweight debut. I'm going to go with Ethan Ewing by decision. Estevam, he has really slick grappling, but I think it was mainly because he had a size advantage on these guys at flyweight, and he won't have that against Ethan Ewing. He'll be a little bit bigger than him, but Ethan Ewing is a true bantamweight, and so is Rafael Estevam, but he was a true bantamweight fighting at flyweight with smaller guys and just kind of like controlling them out for a decision. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Ethan Ewing. I think Ethan Ewing's very good. Beat Malcolm Willmaker, obviously, of course, on like a week's notice. Crazy, schooled him. Won a clear decision. And Estevam, he's good. He's really good, but he's a grappler who just kind of lays on you. He doesn't get a lot of submissions. He doesn't really advance positions. He's kind of just hold them and like negate out the round. And I think Ethan Ewing will be able to scramble out of those positions, not get held down. And I think he's levels better than him on the feet. He could KO him. I don't think he will, but he very much could KO him. But I hope he does. I don't think he will. But I'm going to go with Ethan Ewing. 29-28. I'll say the first round's a little tricky, but after the first round, I think Estevam will really slow down. He slows down in a lot of his fights. And Ethan Ewing didn't slow down on a week's notice. I don't see him slowing down off a full training camp. And I think that's going to be bad news for Rafael Estevam. Give me Ethan Ewing, 30-27. 29-28. One of the two. I'll go with 29-28, though. Up the card, Abdul Rahman Yakhyayev, the Hunter, versus Benson Ribeiro. Say it with me, guys. Benson Ribeiro is not UFC caliber. He's going to get KO'd in the first round. This is such a fucking layup. Yakhyayev is a minus 1,400 favorite. That's kind of crazy. Benson Ribeiro has some pop, but he is just a victim most of the time, and I think that's going to be the case here. Not much to say. Yakhyayev is probably going to KO him under a round and a half. No, he's going to KO him like before half round. Pretty comfortably, I think. All right, co-main event time. Verna Jandiroba versus Tabitha Ritchie. Verna looked really bad in her last fight. I've never been impressed with Tabitha Ritchie. It's a tough one. Jandiroba is so old. Ritchie has some power. She just KO'd, what's her name? Amanda Ribas with an elbow. She like caught her right in the eye and kind of nasty. I was leaning Jandiroba like all week, and then now that I'm making the video, I'm kind of second guessing myself because Tabitha Ritchie, she could have some. No, I'm going with Jandiroba. Jandiroba decision. Crafty, Jandiroba, boring. Kind of lay him, grab him, get a hold of him. Just kind of. She has really good grappling when she gets hold of him. And I think the reason she looks so bad against Mackenzie Dern is because that's like her kryptonite, is someone who also has really good jiu-jitsu. And I don't think Tabitha Ritchie has that. And she's really small. Tabitha Ritchie's really small for the division, which is kind of crazy because it's women's strawweight. But I think Verna is going to have a size advantage, going to have a strength advantage. She's going to hold her down, and I don't think Ritchie's going to get back up when she gets taken down. And that's pretty much it. Verna Jandiroba, 30-27. Maybe Tabitha fucking cracks her, hopefully. Verna is terrible to watch, and I hope she loses and gets cut. but a man can only wish. All right, on to an actually good fight. The main event, Renato Moicano versus Christopher Duncan. Chris Duncan is really good. He's really underrated. He's on like a massive win streak. His last loss was to Manuel Torres. He got choked. But Manuel Torres is really good in himself. But he's beaten McKinney, Rebecki, Vucenic, and Biagioki back to back. And that's impressive. Before that, he's even beaten Yanel Ashmuz, who was good. Omar Morales isn't really all that. And going to a split with him is a little bit of a red flag. He got hurt by Charlie Campbell and then had that big comeback KO on the Contender Series. I think we've all seen it. Before that, he got chinned by Borshev. Before that in the Contender Series. But he's good, man. He has fun fights. He's sneaky good. He is really slow, but Moicano's not that fast. So don't really concern me about that. But I think Unc's gonna still got it. I think we're forgetting how good Moicano is. Because he's an underdog. I don't think he should be. I am going with Moicano getting either a submission or a TKO via ground and pound in round 4 or 5, maybe in round 3. I just don't think that Chris Duncan has the pop to put Moicano away. And I think you need to have some pop to keep it like a threat. Because Benoit Saint Denis couldn't put him away. People forget, man. That was only 2 years ago. That was less than 2 years ago, man. That was a year and a half ago. People forget. He was on his way to having a crafty, what's it called? Crafty win streak. He did lose to Makhachev. Wow, man. This guy's a bum. He lost to Makhachev, am I right? The loss to Benel Dariush is sus. But Moicano looked really bad in that fight. And I don't think that was more... I think that was more of Moicano looking bad than it was Benny looking good. And also, I don't think... Because Chris Duncan isn't as good. He doesn't have as much pop as Beneil. That's a fact. And he's not as good on the ground as Beneil. And that's a fact. And those things are the things that are going to give a guy like Moicano problems. So, he's not... Moicano's not going to put his head on the outside for a guillotine. And that's how Chris Duncan has gotten 2 of his last 4 wins. He's more technically sound than Terrence McKinney by far. And I think this is the one. I think he's gonna get a body lock. He's gonna drag him down in the 4th round. After it'll be even. Duncan might be up. Duncan might be outpointing him, but I think Moicano's gonna get that crafty body lock. Round 3, round 4. He's gonna get him down. He's gonna get him out. He's gonna drop those nasty elbows. Moicano has really underrated and really nasty ground and pound, and I think we're gonna see that this weekend. Because I think Moicano's going to beat the shit out of him on the ground in the later rounds and score himself a submission or the TKO. But I'll go with TKO via ground and pound for Moicano in round 4. And that's how we wrap up the card. And an all-in-all terrible card. But it's whatever. Next week we got a good one. And Yuri versus Olberg. So we just got to keep waiting. Keep trugging along until next weekend. So I got Moicano, Verna, Yakyaev, Ewing, Tommy McMillan, Jose Delano, Thomas Peterson, Alessandro Costa, Lando Venata, Alice Pereira, Bekoev, Diana Barbosa, and Dakota Hope. Short one, really short and simple one, but this card's really terrible. Next weekend, though, really good card. I'm really excited for next week, but just got to truck through this one, guys. Trust me, it'll be worth it. See ya. Also, these cards usually have a lot of finishes. I want to say that. The cards that look really shit on paper, they're usually sneaky good. So, a man can hope. All right, peace out.